Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Class Non-Classics. This is episode number 2290 and Doubleshot number 2184. Yes, I do know for a fact this one is basically about 10 episodes away from episode 2300. So, with this one we're discussing, now these two trades have one particular in common. They both feature an Archer. Yep, first we have is Teen Titans, The Silver Age, Volume 1, which collects the first 11 issues of their ongoing series, along with, basically, Brave and the Bold, issues 54 and 60, and Showcase number 59. The time period cover is from, June, July of 1964. Yeah, probably like a year later. Go from 1964 to pretty much September to October 1967. Now, mostly put all these issues here are written by Bob Haney, art by Nick Candy, Bill Malo, Sal Cherry, Ivan Nork, Jack Abel, and Bruno Primanini. The artwork is the cover art is done by Michael Cho. The new credit here, Beast Boy by Alan Drake, is the book, and Mad Mod. Bob Haney created him. Yeah, so first up we have is technically the first team up of Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Robin. We do see you here of Mr. Twister, a recurring villain who pops up occasionally over the years. I think he even popped up recently as a Titans Hunt miniseries. Yeah, the whole point of this one shot, this issue here, is just the first time we have Batman. We have Robin, Speedy, not Robin. It's Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash working together. The stop villain. And then, of course, 1 year later, because, of course, books are once every 2 months. Then we have technically, now that was basically set up for it. This is the first proper appearance of the Teen Titans, issue 60 of Brave and Bold, which also debut a Wonder Girl, who a character was created by mistake, because people thought there was actually Sister Wars. They changed it time and again. Excuse me. They worked together to stop this pink creature who's rampaging his town. Yep, that's pretty much the whole thing of this issue. Just Teen Titans working to stop this creature. And then, you think, since Brave and Bold at this point was still kind of a trial book, maybe it might get the next book be their debut, first issue. Nope, we have to pop up and showcase one issue. Yep, the basically clear name of a kid's rock band. Yeah, it's okay, so where are the villains? Not here yet. So then we have, in issue 1, we have the Beast God of Zukan. Yeah, and also we have this thing where the text is on the side for some strange reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so in issue 1, they have this Beast God. Of course, he gets the appearance by Aquaman, basically people who are associated with these characters. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Wonder Girl. This is actually her first costume she would wear. Costume she would get a little bit later, about a year in the book. About 13 is when they changed her costume to her more iconic look, the red full suit with the stars. So yeah, the first issue they find a giant conquistador robot. Yeah, that's what they do. And of course, they find monsters, and then we have them deal with a million-year-old teenager in issue number 2. Okay, interesting. You guys are thinking, where's the recurring villains and where's Speedy? Not here yet. In issue 3, here is a villain people, if you've seen the 2000 TV show, you have heard of him. This is Ding Dong Daddy. Yes, a character who did appear in the series, who apparently made more sense here than in the show. Yep, but he's not the only one. Oh no. By the way, Teen Titans, their transportation is a helicopter. Yep, that's their transportation. Not the T-Jet. Nope, it's basically... Oh yeah, and they operate out of a cave in this period of time before they switch over to something else. So, he's here for 1 issue, and I don't think he pops over again. And finally, Speedy is in issue 4. Yep, Speedy joins the team. Though it was later retcon, he was fun with the team anyways. Yep. So we see him join this issue here. There's more teenage stuff, because basically there were teenage issues in this run. That's most what Teen Titans meant for. Then we have the fight against this guy, and it's more of a Robin-centric issue, this one. And this is only issue number 5. Yep. Okay, what about issue 6? 6, we have guest appearance by Beast Boy, who makes his first time meets Teen Titans. Yep. Yeah, he just here as a guest star. It's more like a crossover with Doom Patrol. In a way to promote the book at the time, which book wasn't very sales successful because it got canceled a couple years later. And then we have issue number 7, which this is another character off a TV show, the Mad Mod, who appeared a handful of times in this volume. And then by the 90s, he basically was reformed. He became a fashion designer in the 90s because they stayed in prison after the 60s. So he got released and became reformed and became a recurring character in the Dan Jurgens book. Yep. So issue a debut of him. In issue number 8, we deal with this robot called Honey Bun for a single issue. Yeah, it's all standalone issues. Nothing really terrible here. Just like, then we have the Big Reach Rumble where we fight against this hairy guy for an issue. Yeah, it's more of like social issues. We go into the 60s at this point in time. Also, they had it where you advertise the Batman 60s show in here. Yep. And then we probably got called Scramble. Yeah, Mars Segregation issue number 10. And there's one more issue after this, and that's it. Excuse me. Where Speedy's back, and he was a robot, do a series of robot ocean life, and that's it. Yeah, what a very strange start of the Teen Titans. Yeah, that's something I didn't like very much, the fact that it's like that. But we're not done yet. Oh no, if I can find it here. Ah, here it is. Found you. Next year for the Marvel Epic Collections, we have Hawkeye Epic Collection Volume 1. Yeah, he didn't have very much because it was even think, oh, there's not a lot to collect for Hawkeye. Yeah, what they collect is a lot of guest star appearances. So this book contains these issues. Period of 9. I'll give the monthly. We have the Hawkeye first issue volume, which is 4 issues. Avengers 16, 63, 65, 189, 223, Martin 22, 92, 95. Captain America 17, plus material from Tales of Suspense 57, 66, 64. Marvel Tales 100, Marvel Fiat Fanfare 3 and 39, and Marvel Super Act number 1. Writing here is about Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Lee Wein, Steve Grant, Mark Greenwald, David Michelini, Mark Frederick, Jay Matthias, Scott Inman, Roger Stern, and Charlotte Boulder. Artwork by Don Heck, Gene Cullen, Sal Bushman, John Burns, Colin Fantino, Greg Leclerc, George Evans, Jimmy Jones, Mark Greenwald apparently did artwork too, Paul Neri, Joe Sutton, Jack Kirby, Dick Ayers, Mike Nauser, Trevor Eden, Elliot Brown. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Now the Tailspin issues, going to skip over those, along with some of the Avengers issues. So I'm going to go straight to the next page here because it's all like early stuff for him when he joins. Like chronologically, they put like his early appearances in this book for some reason. In order, yeah, basically it's like whatever solo book he was. If he's not basically part of the Avengers, so basically have him just try out some solo work. Yeah, it goes from 1964 to 1988. Yeah, it's the 4 covers. So the first issue we're going to talk about in this book is Martian with number 22. This issue is basically kind of in a way Hawkeye's first time working with Spider-Man. Yeah, and the whole thing with this issue, battling robots. Written by Lee Wein and Sal Buscema. Yeah, this is from Hawkeye's perspective. I think this is supposed to be set after Avengers Infinity War, because I think he tried to go solo. Yeah. So they explain basically it's been a few weeks since the events of Avengers Infinity War, And he's basically done Jack frickin' Squat and fights Quasimodo. They deal with taking on robots. It's a very cool issue, per se. But then we have Marvel Tales 100. This is basically just an original story. Because Marvel Tales Volume 2, in case you don't know about this book, this is mostly a reprint book, which occasionally had original stories. And this is one of them. This one has Hawkeye teaming up with Two Gun Kid. This story takes place before Daredevil 147, Avengers 161. Yeah, this is Scott Eamon's story with Mike Nestor in the artwork. Yeah, it's a good team story. They take on freaking Purple Man. I'm like, that's interesting. And then we have a solo issue Avengers with focus on Hawkeye. It basically just deals with the threat on his own. Yep. So, what did he do? He takes his bird and wins. Yes. Oh, yeah, and as a reward for beating him, it's like, Archer, you won't forget. Yeah, I won't forget this. You can count it. Birdie, if wants to remember me, I'll give some remember. Yep, Hawkeye gives her a kiss. And she never sees him again until she doesn't see him again for 30 years. She doesn't see him again until, get this, this will surprise you. These two don't see each other again until the Operation Galactic Storm in the 90s. The Subject Acosta, and of course, they have a thing of possibly disbanding the Avengers. And then move on to Avengers 90, Marvel Team 92, another team up between the two of them, where they take on Mr. Fear from Daredevil. Yep, why not? This time it's Spider-Man hounding Hawkeye. It's all about paranoid, and of course, yeah, it's all about Mr. Fear, which is interesting. And it's like, oh, you saw my face, now I gotta kill you. Okay. Weird concept, okay. And then move on to Mara Fanfare number 3, where it's basically Hawkeye take on this Zora ripoff for an issue. But it's still a really good issue. And after this Mara Fanfare issue, then we have 223, where we have this famous image, which was used actually in Captain America Civil War of Hawkeye putting Ant-Man on his arrow. This mostly deals with the storyline where the trial of the Yellow Jacket. That's what the storyline takes place in. This is Steve Picard's story. Really fun. It's basically Hawkeye taking on Taskmaster the first time. Oh, it's Dave Michelini. I thought it was my mistake. I thought it was Steve Picard. Yep. So, yeah, it's basically an issue where Hawkeye takes on Taskmaster. Yep, that's the big thing about this issue. And then move on to Marvel Spectrum. One we have. This is not technically. Now, my guess they included this issue and the other issue featuring here. Features character because if you think about it, the only time you can get solo appearance for this character, they threw her in because she got featured in the Hawkeye miniseries right after this one. It's Bobby Morse. Or in this book, she's known as Huntress. This is basically Mike Frederick with George Evans and Frank Smith on the artwork. It's her basically doing a solo story as Huntress. Excuse me, where at the end of the story, she ends up in a coma. Yeah, and she has seen it for a few years. Now, she couldn't call herself that this issue for good reason, because DC has their own Huntress. It was a copyright issue. So, yeah, they couldn't see her again. Then she pops up in Marvel Team Up number 95. This actually was her next appearance. You see, before I continue here, Mockingbird was a character who popped up in Kazar stories. Yes, she was an original love interest for Kazar. It's like she was to be that way, and then they just threw in Shine the She-Devil because Steve Gerber likes the character. So you have Mockingbird and Spider-Man team up the first time. This is Stephen Grant's story. Okay. Yep, from our team in 95. Yep. Absolutely really fun of an issue these two teams put together. And they did at one point, these two briefly dated about 2018, I think it was. And then we finally move on to the Hawkeye miniseries. Yep, this is Mark Grable, who does writing and artwork for this whole miniseries. And in this miniseries, excuse me, he's working for a company and he has a Sky Cycle. And during this miniseries, he goes deaf for the first time, and he meets Mockingbird, who at first he attacks, then he works there with her throughout the whole miniseries, and at the end of it, they get married off screen. Yes, Mark Greenwald had them meet, fall in love, and get married by issue 4. Yeah, and also the fact that Crossfire is in here too. Yeah, Crossfire occasionally is depicted as a Hawkeye villain. Yeah. There was like, no, these two got married by the end of the miniseries because the last page, Hawkeye refers to Mockingbird as Mrs. Barton. And then we have a guest appearance in Captain America where you have Cap teaming up with Hawkeye for an issue. Yes, seriously. And his tagline is, well, here's another 5 minutes of guarantees with Hawkeye, and this is a funny image of Cap using Hawkeye's bow and Hawkeye using Cap's shield. Now, if you're curious, is it a Mark Greenwald issue? I believe it is. Because I think this is part of his epic run he had in the book. Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, it's mostly deal with basically Cap and Hawkeye deal with Crossfire and his goons. It's mostly about a follow-up to the Hawkeye miniseries before he pops up in Avengers. And then we have Mara Fanfare number 39. A Dan Mattia story where he just Hawkeye on his own with no Mockingbird. Him thinking it's basically like a... Well, I don't think Mockingbird... It's basically the same amount in the wild for an issue. Yeah, that's literally what Mara Fanfare 39 is. Yep. And then we have Marvel Triple Action, which is the reprint. And that's it. Yep. We got detailed imaging about all the Hawkeye stuff in here, and that's it. Yep, an excellent book. I'm going to give this book roughly a 10 out of 10. Now, there is a couple more books left to go for Hawkeye, but it's completely unknown when I get my hands on them, per se, but if I do, I'll let you know. Yep. So, yeah, that's the particular view. Next time I'll do Doctor Who, and then one more Comic Corner, and I'll call it a night. Okay? Let's do. Bye.